there's a very good chance that a tropical storm will form off the southeast coast later next week. This storm will be named Chris, the third storm of the 2012 Atlantic hurricane season. It will form along a stationary frontal boundary that is right now in the Midwest. It will form the same way as the two previous storms formed. This storm will likely be subtropical at first, but then it will become fully tropical and may even attain hurricane status. This is according to the GFS computer model. It doesn't mean that this will happen. It will, though, become tropical, somewhere between the 7th and 8th of June. This storm will head northeastward out to sea. I think that this is a very likely scenario. I think most of our named storms this year, or at least half, will form this way. Not the typical Cape Verde storms or the Mexican Gulf of Mexico storms, but more of a stationary frontal boundary that forms like that, and low pressure waves form over the warm waters and go from being cold core to being hybrid. When it's a hybrid, that's when the storm attains subtropical status. But then as it gains a fully warm core, that's when it becomes a full tropical storm. That is how in 1983 Hurricane Alice formed. Hurricane Alice formed along a stationary frontal boundary just south of Louisiana and moved west. Just before hitting Houston, the storm exploded into a major hurricane where it damaged most of the buildings in Houston, Texas. That was the most major storm to hit Houston, Texas in many years. And the most major storm, wind-wise, to affect Houston until Hurricane Ike in 2008. I do think, other than hurricanes, that this summer will be very wet and unsettled in the southeast and the northeast. The fall is going to be chilly and wet across the northeast and mild across the southeast, while this winter is going to be very, very cold. I don't know about snowfall, but I think snowfall will be on the low side, as most of the nor'easters and snowstorms will stay in the mid-Atlantic. It will be the same, I believe, as the 2009-2010 winter season, where the mid-Atlantic got a lot of snow and areas north of Philadelphia hardly got anything. I think that's what's going to happen this year again. But tropics speaking, I'm predicting 16 named storms, 7 hurricanes, and 4 of them will be major. And I believe that the United States will not be hit by a major hurricane this year because of the El Nino that is forming. If the United States is hit by a major hurricane, it's going to be from one of these stationary frontal boundary storms. And any Cape Verde storms will go out to sea, just like this. Here's the East Coast, Bermuda High, and the storm will be forced to go up the East Coast and out to sea. This is going to be what's going to happen later during the major part of hurricane season. While the East Coast is just going to get lots of surf and maybe some onshore winds. But I believe that this year's hurricane season will be just at or slightly above average. Next year, I think we're going to have a very, very active season. For the 2013 hurricane season, I'm predicting 18 named storms, 10 hurricanes, and 6 are going to be major. 2013 Atlantic hurricane season. I am looking far ahead because El Niños and La Niñas are sort of predictable. This prediction or forecast I'm making is based if we have a La Niña or a neutral phase in the Pacific. this winter, Joe Bastardi predicted a huge winter, and I was looking forward to it. In October, we had a record snowstorm. I actually predicted a record snowstorm based on the GFS model I saw 8 days earlier. No one else was forecasting it yet. Yet I was running my mouth about a snowstorm in October. At the same time, Joe Bastardi was saying we're going to have a really active winter. By the time, and I thought after that October snowstorm, I had a feeling that this winter was going to be mild. Here's why. I believe that if we have a big snowstorm in October, the weather pattern that was supposed to set up for the winter happened during the fall. So therefore, this winter is going to be kind of mild. I mean, this cannot be said for all years. You can have a big snowstorm in October, and then the winter could reflect October, which is really snowy and below normal. I mean, this winter, I don't think it's going to be too bad, as I said. But I hope we have a lot of snow this winter. And I hope, Chris, that when it forms on the 7th or 8th, does not affect the East Coast too much. Thank you for listening to me. And I hope you all had a pleasant evening.